Hoka, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of February the 4th, 2022, the Space Angels versus Superhero Teams, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, the Muskogee Creek. And right now I'm solo because we, I guess, are pretty chaotic here. And I think Angelus will be on here in a few minutes. And we just had Do Not Stand By just joined us. How's it going, Do Not Stand By?
Good, Creek. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah. You got my DM, didn't you, concerning I guess, the GoFundMe project we did for your friend?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm going to reach out to my friend and find out what account he has, and I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Anyway, how's it going up there in Arvada? I guess you guys got some snow just like we did, and it's starting to melt off now.
Yeah, it was great for my daughter. She got a snow day out of it, so she was pretty thrilled about it.
Yeah.
she also pelted me with a variety of different snowballs that she conceived of over our walk back home from the school bus.
That's cool. So anyway, she was throwing those things at you, huh?
Yeah, yeah, in a variety of different ways, overhanded, underhanded, slow, splut, fast splut. She was trying out a lot of different ways.
Oh, good for her. Good for her. So, and I bet she was probably as accurate throwing those things as Alita would be, right?
Yes, the first one she pelted me with was from 10 feet away, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, we got, I think Angelus will be on after a bit. He's kind of late sometimes. Sometimes he oversleeps because he has like a weird schedule. Maxie won't be on today because he's got a family obligation he's got to take care of. So anyway, and that's cool too, you know. So anyway, I guess we can go ahead and get started. You know, the Space Angels versus, you know, any other superhero teams. And really, here are the teams that I guess we want to really consider here. And of course, that would be the Space Angels, certainly would be Alita, Zex, and Z.O.T.T. And I think, in case some of you don't know, which I bet the folks on this stream are going to know who the Space Angels are, but if you haven't read, uh, the manga, then you may not know. It's really the team that competed in the Zenith of All Things tournament. And we're going to get to that a little bit, just very briefly about what that entailed. But these three characters actually fought in that tournament, and it's kind of a combat sport itself. There were a couple of substitutes on the Space Angels, and that would be AR-11 and AR-12, which would be Elf and Swerve. So, which are Alita replicants. Now, I don't think they're as powerful as Alita because if I'm not sure if you maybe you know this, stand by, do not stand by, but I think they are in Berserker bodies, if I'm not sure, or some other cyborg body, whereas Alita in the Z.O.T.T tournament, she's in her Imaginos body. So so they would not be as powerful, say, as Zex or Z.O.T.T for that matter. So I don't know. Do you know for sure? Anyway, do not stand by.
What I recall from the OG volumes was that they were in tune bodies because Alita was
Yes.
the team at the time when she got attacked by them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Them being in the tune bodies because that's what Alita was in for a lot of that part of the manga. You know. So yeah, but the tune body is not anywhere near as powerful as, say, Alita's Imaginos body or Zex's Physoroid body or even Z.O.T.T's body. And I'm not sure what Z.O.T.T's body was. I can't remember that. I know Z.O.T.T is a total replacement cyborg. I know that, but that's the extent of what I know. I haven't read the manga in quite a while. And Angelus and I threatened to kind of start reading that thing again because we used to, you know, kind of read it and we'd kind of go along parallel to each other so we could discuss it, you know, but we're going to have to pick that up again, I guess, or reread the manga. Okay, so the 5 teams that they are actually going to be competing against is going to be the Justice League. And who we've picked on these teams are going to be kind of the characters that are pretty much accepted. Now, there could be variations to these teams. Like, I think in the Justice League, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are considered what they call the Trinity, I guess, in the DCEU. Certainly, if you put the Flash instead of Batman on the team, that's probably going to make the team more powerful. But we wanted to stick with the more core groups, I guess, of the teams. And in the case of the Justice League, of course, that's going to be the Trinity. Same would be true of the Avengers. That would be Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. And they're considered the big 3. Now, obviously, if you took Captain America off the team and put the Hulk on it, that would make them much more powerful. But the Hulk is really not part of that big 3, and sometimes he's with them and sometimes he's not. So that's why we picked those 3. And then X-Men, Wolverine, and Quicksilver. Magneto, rather, Wolverine and Quicksilver. They're not really canon for, you know, being on a team on the X-Men, because Magneto usually opposes the X-Men, except from time to time, like when they fought Apocalypse. You know, he starts out against them and he ends up joining them. And you know, Wolverine's kind of hit or miss sometimes on the X-Men. But anyway, that's the three I picked for that one. And then of course X-Force, the core three of those would be Deadpool, Cable, and Domino, and we're going to get to them in just a little bit. So these are the teams. You know, this is not going to be like a tournament or any kind of thing like that. Oh, there's Angelus. Good day, Angelus.
Yeah. Good day.
Yeah. Or okay, Angelus. Yeah. So yeah, we just got through very briefly discussing the 5 teams that are going to be in this competition. It's not going to be like a tournament, like a single elimination tournament or anything like that. This is going to be strictly how the Space Angels would stack up against the other 4 teams. You know, whether we think they would win or lose. You know, so that's kind of how we set that up. I started out trying to make it like a tournament, but I felt like we'd spend too much time discussing whether the Justice League would beat the Avengers or not, or whether the X-Men would beat the Justice League. You know, I mean, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube for that. So, and by the way, I do have some of those links down in the description if you want to go look at that, primarily from the guy DanCo. He does a real good job on sizing up, you know, kind of these death battle type things. But this is strictly our Space Angels going up against these 4 teams. Anything you want to add to that there, Do Not Stand By or Angelus?
Yeah, where are the bunnies?
The bunnies? Well, Elf and Swerve are subs, and we're not going to have them in there because you know, it's going to make it too complicated, and it's going to take us more. The Creek has a problem anyway, keeping the time limit down when he starts talking about Alita. So I wanted to limit it to 3 players. So
Fair enough.
what about Do Not Stand By? Do you have anything to add to any of this?
So the competition is going to be 0G. Would that give an advantage to the Space Angels?
Well, no, it's just going to be, you know, I mean, I've already got kind of laid out what I think, but we can discuss it, you know, on some future slides. But not really, I guess. You know, I just think it's just a discussion, you know, and well, let's go ahead and move to the rules of engagement. First of all, this is not going to be a death battle, because if it was, you know, that's a team that would lose a member, you know, they would have to, you know, kind of replace them or something like that. And I wanted to kind of try to keep it even if I could. And of course, I've already mentioned that, in other words, it's going to be who wins and who loses, period, like a boxing match. So, yeah, hello, Safani Sung. Yeah, that's a pretty cool name you have there. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the Space Angels, no, not Jean Grey, Charlie. We didn't put her on here, but we'll get to that. You know, we'll discuss some of those variations too. And then, of course, the 3 members, we've already kind of gone over all those for the other superhero teams. And, of course, it's a no-brainer that all of the team members on here are going to be using their inherent abilities and fighting techniques and styles and that kind of stuff. And what I am going to do is kind of rate the players, you know, according to what their standing on the team is. As an example, with the Space Angels, I would give Alita 3 points, Zex 2 points, and Zazie 1 point. And the reason why I do that is that for the Space Angels, obviously Alita is the most powerful team member on there, because her and her Imaginos body, if she was to fight Zex in his Physoroid body, that body doesn't have near the capability that an Imaginos body does, particularly if she's in that 2.1 body. And of course, I'm not real sure what Zazie's total replacement cyborg body is, but it wouldn't even be as powerful as Zex. So I would rate Alita 3, Zex 2, Z.O.T.T 1. And the reason why I want to give them points like that is when they're fighting each other, if, say, Alita beats another player on another team that's a 3 points type player, she gets 3 points. Whereas if Z.O.T.T beats the weakest player on another team, Z.O.T.T gets 1 point. And so we'll see how that breaks out too when we get to it. Any questions, you guys?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So here's the Space Angels. Alita. Now, the reason why I'm going to spend some time here, because some of these superheroes most of us already know. Yeah, Safani Sung, you don't need a StreamYard account to come on the stream. If you want to come on the stream, you can just click on that link I got in the chat. That'll you can get on. You don't need a StreamYard account for that. If anybody else wants to come on, just click on that link that you see there from Creek Indian Alita Army and come on and talk about Alita with us. So anyway, Alita would be the 3-point player here because she's in her Imaginos 2.1 body, and that is an extremely powerful body. I mean, once again, it's linked to the singularity. She's also linked, I guess she's got some kind of neural net type of link with Melchizedek, which is a, kind of a futuristic quantum computer, which allows her to size up scenarios instantly, within maybe a nanosecond. Kind of like Dr. Strange did when he looked at over 14 million possible scenarios. Alita can do that too. With I guess, Dr. Strange, he was actually looking in the future, but with Alita, it's going to be more like a prediction of scenarios, but with a very high degree of accuracy. So when she fights someone, she kind of has a pretty good idea, about who's, what they're going to do, what their powers are, that kind of thing, because she is linked to Melchizedek. Actually, I think, Charlie, I think Z.O.T.T is if I may be wrong about this, maybe Do Not Stand By and Angelus can correct me on this, but I believe Z.O.T.T is a cyborg. I'm pretty sure she is. I may be wrong about that, though. You could be right, but I think she is. There may have been a point, like in the Mars Chronicles or something like that, where she was human, but I think in the Z.O.T.T, she's actually a cyborg. So yes, and she is a weapons specialist. That's right, and a quite good one too. We'll get to that in a little bit. And of course, Zex is in his Physiroid body, which is a really powerful body. As a matter of fact, that body is probably more powerful than a Berserker body, and definitely more powerful than, say, a tuned body. So, he's a pretty tough character right there. And of course, Z.O.T.T, I don't know what body she's in. Charlie may be right. She may be human, or I'm not sure about that. But I think she's a cyborg. Could be wrong, though. Could be wrong. You guys got Do Not Stand By or Angelus? You got any thoughts about these three?
No, I was just typing it when I realized I could have just said it. But yeah.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, no problem. Do Not Stand By. Anything you want to add to these three?
Yeah, I don't remember what the difference was between 2.1 and 2.0. Could you remind me about Imaginos 2.1?
Yeah, 2.0 is it's the same body, okay, that she's in there in that picture, which she was in 2.1 in that picture. But 2.1 is connected to the singularity. This is after she comes back from Jupiter. When she fights Toji, she gets obliterated, but she gets reassembled almost instantly. I guess, I don't know if it's a time warp or whatever it was, but, she comes back almost instantly. And when she does, she's connected to the singularity and to Melchizedek. So, whereas the 2.0 body is not. I mean, it's the same body, but it's not connected to Melchizedek or the singularity. So in her 2.1 body, and I think Nova actually coined it 2.1, like a version number, is drastically more different or more powerful than her 2.0 body, which is not connected to the Singularity or Melchizedek. So that, I think that's about the only difference in the two, which is a pretty significant difference, really. So, I mean, she was fighting Toji pretty much, you know, to a standstill, you know, even her 2.0 body. But when she came back with a 2.1 body, it was no match, you know. In her 2.1 body, she's got almost godlike powers, you know. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So, I don't. Did that answer your question there? Do not stand by.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Anything to add there, Angelus? I think Angelus may be muted.
My headset was muted. No.
Okay. Now, I just want to talk about the other teams briefly, and then we'll go back to the. I guess we'll go back to the Space Angels, because I think just about all of us, you know who these characters are. I don't need to go into much of any kind of analysis or anything like that. Of course, Superman, you know, he's nigh on, you know, invulnerable. He's got superhuman strength. He can fly. He's fast. He can go. I think in one stream we determined he could go 95% the speed of light. Now, I have seen, you know, some comic books from, or at least parts of that. Welcome, Safani Sung. Are you there? I think you're muted. Yeah, there's the mute button there at the bottom. I think you just push that, Safani Sung, and you can talk. There you go.
Well, you guys hear me? Hello.
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, sorry about it. 'Cause I was getting my microphone down, my
That's
headset.
okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself before we continue here. Yeah, what country are you in, and good stuff like that.
I'm from America.
Okay. So what city or
I'm just
what?
listening, guys. I'm listening.
Okay. So anyway, well, Superman, of course, is we know him. He has pretty much godlike powers. There are several versions of him. I think the most powerful one is Superman Prime 1,000,000, but we're not gonna consider him in this particular one, because by the time he's that powerful, the Justice League is no longer in existence, because you know, all of them, save maybe Wonder Woman, have died off. So because they're, you know, they may be metahumans, but they're still humans, you know. Wonder Woman, pretty powerful. She's a goddess in terms of, you know, the daughter of Hippolyta and Zeus, I guess. And, you know, superhuman strength, very fast. Now, she can't move at relativistic speeds like Superman does, but she is crazy, crazy fast. I mean, she, I think in that, you know, in the, I guess that movie, The Justice League, where she was deflecting all those bullets fired by that terrorist at those people. And that guy had an automatic weapon. You have to be fast to be able to block every single one of those bullets, you know. So she's pretty crazy fast, you know, but it's not relativistic speed like, say, Superman has, or say like Alita has in her Imaginer's 2.1 body. And Batman is really not a metahuman, but he is a really good tactician. If he has time to prepare for an opponent, he probably is going to beat that opponent, because we saw in Batman versus Superman, he had time to prepare for Superman, and he actually was beating him until Superman told Batman what his mother's name was or something like that. And it kind of, you know, brought him back to earth, I guess. But he was in the process. He's probably going to kill Superman, you know. So, but he is a human. And if he has time to prepare, he can beat almost anybody. He's, you know, on crossovers, he's beaten like the Hulk. He's beaten Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which probably Angelus knows about that one. And he's beaten other very powerful characters. He's even beaten Darkseid, I think, at one point, or at least fought him to a standstill because he had time to prepare. So he's a pretty powerful guy. Now, Could we have put Flash on this team and made them even more powerful? Yeah, but the Flash is not a member of the Trinity, as they call them in the DCEU. So that's why Batman's on here. Those three are the Trinity. Any thoughts about these three, you guys?
No. Although, no, I'd still rank them as is.
Okay, well, you gonna maybe rank Batman ahead of Wonder Woman or something?
No. Like, I was thinking, like, putting in Cyborg when I realized that what's the name was a PR.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but he's also not a part of what's called the Trinity. That's why I picked these three. They're the three primary primary members here are the original members, and we saw these three in Batman versus Superman fight Doomsday, and Ash Blackman. How dare I select them in this order? Yeah, sorry, Ash. Yeah, I guess you could make the case, that Wonder Woman might be 1, Batman 2, and Superman 3 because, Batman was going to beat Superman in that. Now, there was in the sequel, when they were in the Justice League, Superman was he was going to kill Batman, and of course, Batman didn't have any kryptonite or anything like that, which is how he was beating him before, So I don't know. You might call that one a draw even, but okay, I can see that. But I think the accepted value of these guys, are basically that's kind of the hierarchy of these three. And Dizzy here, yeah, Batman, Superman, or poos. I don't know about that, Diz. That they're pretty potent. Particularly Superman. This guy can move at relativistic speeds. He has superhuman strength. He's actually held a black hole in his hand. Which is pretty amazing when you think about it. So yeah, I don't know if I'd call him a poo or not. So, but okay. Then we got the Avengers. Now these guys are called the Big Three. Okay, Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. Thor is pretty powerful himself. We're going to be talking primarily the Thor that was in the Avengers movie, and we're not talking about Rune King Thor or any of that. Who was extremely powerful. But Thor is pretty powerful. He's he's got godlike powers himself. Now, I don't think he's as powerful as Superman, because I don't think Thor can move at relativistic speeds without that Bifrost. Okay, so he can move fast, and Mjolnir, or say Stormbreaker, he can move. He can fly with those things, but he can't fly himself inherently like Superman can, and I don't believe he's as strong as Superman. He's pretty strong, there's no doubt about that, but I don't believe Thor can hold a black hole in his hand. Iron Man's kind of similar to Batman in a lot of ways. He's a human. He's not even a metahuman. He's just a human, is really good with technology, and of course, in those suits that he has, you could make the case almost that he's kind of like a cyborg himself, although he's more like a human that just has a really powerful, set of armored suits that he can, has various weaponry and nanotech and stuff like that on it. Now, Captain America, I would say he's almost a metahuman. I mean, he's pretty strong. He has superhuman strength, but not like, say, Superman or Thor has. But like, for instance, he was able to hold a helicopter from taking off. That's insane. That's nuts power right there, or strength. But he himself is possibly close to a metahuman, but he's not, say, someone like the Flash or someone like that, or even Quicksilver for that matter. He's not What's funny about Quicksilver is he's both in the Avengers and the X-Men universe. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but he's a really good fighter. He is a great tactician. He knows martial arts, and in that regard, his fighting ability, he's a lot like Batman in that regard. Now he's not a whiz with technology like Batman, or Iron Man. Those two are whizzes with technology. Captain America is not. Any thoughts about these three, you guys?
Not quite.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I'd probably make Captain America at 2, and then, but take him out and put Hawkeye or Black Widow in their place. But that's about it.
Yeah. Well, the reason why, you could do that. And of course, if you put Hulk in there and take Captain America out, that's going to make the Avengers a lot more powerful. But the reason why I picked these three is because they are considered the big three, they call them in the MCU. So that's why I took those three. Yeah, we could pick any number of them. You could pick Hawkeye. In a lot of ways, Hawkeye is similar to Zazie. He never misses. Although we did see cases where he did shoot an arrow at Black Widow and missed, because she's so fast, but that's why he's in there, just because he's considered, part of that. You know what? Chaos Nova Omni-Man is a pretty strong guy. Now, he's not on any of the teams we got here. That might be a subject for a future stream, I think. How would Alita and her Imaginos 2.1 body stack up against Omni-Man? I think that would be interesting, But that's a good point there, Chaos. And yeah, Batman is a master technician. You're right, Ash. That's for sure. I think that, what Batman lacks in, like what you would call superhero abilities, he more than makes up for in intelligence and being able to adapt, plan to take on an opponent. I mean, anybody who can beat the Hulk, they had that in a crossover, would be pretty tough in my book, And to Angelus's point, you could make the case for Captain America to be number 2 and Iron Man to be number 1, in terms of their ranking. Being, of course, the bigger number is the more powerful number, but because those two were fighting each other to a standstill in Civil War. So, they're probably pretty close to even. But I think the main thing with Iron Man is he can fly, so Iron Man could grab Captain America, fly him up real high and drop him, so of course, if they're over water, Captain America can do like he did in that one movie and just kind of, go into the water and then swim out of it, because he is that durable. So any other thoughts, you guys? Cool.
Yep.
Well, here's the X-Men, and I ranked them like this. You could make the case that Quicksilver, it should be 2 and Wolverine 1. I don't know, and there's no real logic behind this. I just picked these 3 because I like the characters. But Magneto, of course, has the ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields, which means he has some kind of, control over magnetism, which he can control metal. And of course, Wolverine has that adamantium skeleton, and has the ability to project those claws out of his hands. And Quicksilver is crazy fast. Quicksilver is a lot like the Flash. Now, we did a stream here a while back where we compared the Superman, the Flash, Alita, and Quicksilver. And I think we determined Quicksilver, he's pretty damn fast, but he wasn't quite as fast as the other 3, So, but anyway, but he's still stupid fast. I mean, it's really, really relativistic speeds, and welcome, Dan.
No.
This is not Dan?
No, it's not. It's Dizzy Mate.
Dizzy, yeah. That don't sound like Dizzy's.
I just became Black Mate.
Oh, Black Mate. Is that a new superhero or something?
No, I just became black. That's why I sound different, but it is Dizzy. You can
Oh,
change these things these days.
I don't think so there. But nice try.
You ain't never seen Rachel Dolezal or Woe Vicky? We gotta get
No,
some
I've
Vicky
never.
on the stream. She's gonna be
Oh,
on the
yeah.
waifu tier list.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun stream, I think, Anyway, welcome aboard, Den, from Tampa, Florida. So not from Hobart, Tasmania.
Not from Tampa, from Tasmania. Wrong T.
All right. Well, here's Dizzy now. All right, now
Hey.
how are we going to explain that?
Yeah.
Will the real Dizzy B please stand up?
That's right.
Right
There
here,
he
I'm
is.
standing.
I know, can he?
Standing right now.
That's what I heard. You're sitting, mate.
Well, we got the American Dizzy and the Australian Dizzy. So there
I
you
heard
go.
the American Dizzy has a lot of weaknesses.
I don't know. I wouldn't want him to kick me.
He drinks Foster's, too much of it.
Well,
I
what you
told him
guys?
Foster's is the #1 Australian beer. I'm trying to get all the Australians out
It's
there
not,
to
mate.
drink it with me.
I can't find it. I still can't find it to drink. It's not. Doesn't exist here, mate. It's the
Oh,
offcuts of the real beer.
Okay, be that as it may, how's things going down under there, Dizzy and Tassie?
That's quite good down here, mate.
All right, cool.
Tip top.
Nice. Okay, anybody got anything to say about the X-Men, the 3 I picked? Now, obviously, we could pick some others. I think Ash, it might have been Ash, or it could have been Chaos. I can't remember one. So why didn't you pick Jean Grey? Well, I could have, I guess, pick Jean Grey.
She's pretty overpowered, and she's
Yeah,
hot.
she is.
So.
Well, Magneto's pretty overpowered too. Although I think Jean Grey was kicking his butt in that last, X-Men.
Isn't Jean Grey supposed to be like the strongest in all of all of them?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
I just remember the movie with Famke Jensen because I thought she was really hot as a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She just fucking annihilated what's his name, bald guy, main guy.
Oh yeah,
wheelchair guy.
Professor X.
She kills him, and I'm like, wait, isn't this supposed to be the fucking start of the movie? And he dies like halfway through. And I'm like, okay, well,
yeah. Well, he makes a comeback though, so
I have no idea what the hell the continuity is for those movies are. Like, I gave up a long time ago. I missed like 3 of them. I'm like, that guy was dead the last time I saw him. What the fuck is even going on?
Well, when they did X-Men First Class, that kind of threw the continuity out the window, I think. It was almost like a reboot. And then they merged them later on. So, but that's the way it goes, I guess.
Is Hot Jean Grey still alive? That's all I want to know.
Well, I guess she's still alive, but she took off from the planet, went into outer space, and she now is the Phoenix Force or something like this, and I don't think there's another X-Men movie.
So she's like Dr. Manhattan, but with titties?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, that's another thought. Maybe we could do at some point the Space Angels, versus the Watchmen. That would be kind of interesting, I think. Although Dr. Manhattan would probably win, but. Okay, I guess moving right along on these, we got these 3 right here, and of course that would be the X-Force, and this is almost like a joke, I guess, from that second Deadpool 2 movie, where Deadpool, he's, I would say he's the most powerful on here because really for him, he has regenerative powers. I mean, he can be killed, but I mean, he's, you cut him in half, like, I guess Juggernaut pulled him in half and he still survived and he grew new legs. And that was kind of a disturbing scene, in terms of him with those baby legs, I guess when they were in there talking to him, that looked kind of weird. Cable's, he's pretty tough himself, but he's like a super soldier, he's in some ways, he's like Captain America, in some ways. And then Domino is, her only superpower is she's lucky, I guess, is what she said when they were, when these people were kind of applying for Deadpool's. He went out with a feeler, say, "Hey, anybody ever be on a superhero team?" And he got all these applicants.
The guy that had the luck.
Yeah. What's your superpower? He says. And she says, "I'm lucky." And he says, "That's not a superpower." And she says, "Yes, it is." He says, "No, it isn't." She says, "Yes, it is." No, it didn't. They went like that about 2 or 3 times, But anyway, she did a couple of things in the movie that was luck, like picking that lock, knowing the exact combination without going through a lot of tries. She just guessed the number and it was right. Stuff like that, But in terms of a superhero, I don't know. I think she's pretty cool. I think she's good looking, but superhero, I'm not sure about that. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to that in a little bit. Any thought about these 3?
Yeah, Wolverine has killer sideburns, man.
Yeah, he does.
They almost meet his chin. It's delicious.
Yeah.
All he needs is a mullet.
Yeah.
Well, mate, if he had
Well,
a
look at
mullet,
those-
he would be a Super Saiyan superhero.
Well, look at those guns right there. I mean, damn, those guns are almost as big as Creaky's. So anyway,
I'll turn it up, mate.
so anyway, but that's these 3 guys, And this, remember that I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Deadpool movies a lot. I mean, they're really irreverent and all that stuff, which is really funny, And I like that part, the Vanisher. I like him. That was Brad Pitt had a very small bit in that thing where he landed on that electric wire, got electrocuted, and just for a brief second you saw him, and that was kind of funny, I think.
Wasn't
Hey,
there talk
there's a
of...
Deadpool and 3 come out already?
Say again?
The Deadpool, and I've seen the Deadpool already in the movie.
Yeah.
I've seen what he's doing Kick-Ass movie. I've seen superhero.
Kick-Ass. Yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like that one. She's my favorite actor, isn't it? The good actor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, that's my first movie. Okay, the Deadpool. I wish
cool.
it Deadpool.
Yeah, there was a Deadpool short they did too. Once Upon a Deadpool, it was a Christmas thing they did a couple of years ago, I guess. It was kind of neat, So I wish they'd do something like that for Alita, just for a Christmas thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be
My
neat.
birthday is 2 weeks away. My birthday.
Yeah.
Of course
Okay.
not.
Cool.
Of course, continue.
Cool. Okay, so there's the superhero teams. Now, one thing before we got into discussing who would beat, who would win, this kind of stuff. This is how the Space Angels won the Z.O.T.T. Alita defeated Toji. Zex defeated Zeka. Now, I would say that one there, I'm not sure he defeated Zeka. That might have been a draw, and Toji pulled Zeka away before they finished their fight. I think anybody read the manga, remember that? I think that's what really happened. And of course, Zazie defeated Rakan, kind of in an interesting way. But at the very least, the Space Angels had won 2 of the battles. So even if Zeka had beaten Zex, it still would have lost. And the Space Angels had to win several matches even to get to the final, as did the Space Karate guys on the right there. You see the big characters. That's Toji. He's kind of the master, I guess, of space karate. And then Zeka, he's kind of the number 2 guy there on that one, and he's a really good fighter. And then of course that Rakan, he's kind of the most perverted of of the 3 of them, and he's a space karate master himself, and has a thing for the girls, I guess. So, but anyway, this is how the Space Angels got, where they were. I mean, they were the first team, I guess. What was it? And maybe you guys can help me out here. The Space Angels were the first non-sanctioned team or something like that, or civilian team. I can't remember the exact phraseology there, to win the Z.O.T.T. The rest of them were like handpicked by leadership and stuff like that, and they competed. And Alita, Zex, and Zazie, along with Elf and Swerve, actually, they actually won the Z.O.T.T. So, Anyway, any thoughts about this, you guys?
I haven't read that far. Sorry.
Yeah, I think this is in the OG. I think, or no, this is not the. Is this in the OG? I can't. No, or was this in the Last Order? I can't. I don't think this was the Last Order. That might have been at the end of the OG, maybe. Do you remember?
I don't remember seeing this in the OG. She didn't have a cat's tail then.
Yeah, that's Last Order.
Yeah, it's Last Order then. Okay, yeah. So that's she's Cat Lita, I guess in the Z.O.T.T. So or becomes Cat Lita, I guess. So
Cat or Puss Lita?
Whichever one you want, I guess, Diz. So okay, so let's chat about who's going to win, who's going to beat who. Now I'm going to put I'll put what I think will happen up here, and then you guys can discuss this. And it's not going to go the way you think, because I think Alita, if she fights Superman, even in her Imaginos 2.1 body, I think Superman's going to win. Okay. Now I think it'll be a tough ass fight, for sure, because she does have the power of the singularity behind her, and she really has that access to the quantum computer of Melchizedek, in which she can predict every move, with a high degree of accuracy. But Superman's invulnerable. He's got superhuman strength, and he's every bit as fast, if not faster, than she is. So what do you guys think?
Don't ask me about Superman. I'm a Goku fan. I've been having this discussion for the last decade. So I'm just going to say, without going into my spiel, Superman's going to take this. Honestly, if it was every single one of these other characters on the screen at the same time against Superman, he'd still win easily.
I think so.
I reckon if you gave Superman some laxatives, he'd be fucked.
Or he's got super speed. He'll just take care of it in like 2.5 seconds and come back and beat your ass with the smelly ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, though, if Alita had access to kryptonite, he'd be in trouble, because she is very fast and she has superhuman strength too, So
that's what makes Superman a pussy. And then on top of that, there's something called pink kryptonite. I go look it up and put it on the screen. I'm not going to say it because I'll get canceled. But
no,
look it up.
But I will look it up. I will look it up after the stream, though. I'll do that.
It's not porn, but I want all the Superman fans to know pink kryptonite is canon.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I didn't know that. There's Chaos Nova. How's it going there, Chaos?
Great. Omni-Man is worse than Superman. I'll just explain him. He's in Image Comics Invincible, but he does most what Superman does. No heat beams out of his eyes. He just beats you up bad.
Yeah.
Has anyone else watched Invincible yet?
Yes.
Goku
I
would
saw
shit down Omni-Man's throat and laugh about it.
Well, I know DanCo has done a thing where he had Superman and Omni-Man fight, and he concluded that Superman would win, but it would be a tough fight, so. Okay, what about Zex versus Wonder Woman? This is who the Creek thinks. I think Wonder Woman wins.
Yeah.
Because she's... Oh, go ahead, Angelus.
That's where I probably would have, pitched Cyborg.
Oh, we lost Chaos. Yeah. Well, like I say, I picked these three because they're considered the Trinity. So, in the DCEU. So that's the only reason I picked them. Yeah. I guess Cyborg would be a good match for Alita, but I think Alita in her Imaginos 2.1 body, she would make quick work of Cyborg. He's not near powerful enough, Probably Alita. I don't know what would happen if she fought Wonder Woman. I think in her Imaginos 2.1 body, I think Alita would win, So if you switched them around, we'd have a one-to-one type situation.
I thought Wonder Woman was nearly as strong as Superman.
Well, she is, but she doesn't move at relativistic speeds. She's not as strong as Superman, but although her and Martian Manhunter and Superman actually towed the Earth at one point. So yeah, she's pretty freaking strong, but I don't think she's any stronger than Alita, because Alita in her Imaginos 2.1 body connected to the black hole, she's going to be pretty freaking strong herself, you know.
So wait. You're telling me that Superman needed help pushing the Earth, towing the Earth?
No, well, he probably didn't, Dan. I
And
mean,
y'all
but
think he can beat Goku? Man, y'all need to get out of here with the Superman shit, man.
I
Superman's
didn't. No, I
overrated.
don't. No,
I'm
no,
just
wait,
kidding.
no, wait, whoa. I
I'm
don't
just
think.
kidding.
No. I don't think Superman can beat Goku. Of course, it depends on what version of Goku, you know, for sure. I think
It's a
if
joke. I'm just talking shit. I like to troll Superman fans, especially when it's Austin. Splash Bang.
Okay, all right. I don't know if Austin's out there or not. I don't think he is. So, so anyway, yeah. But you're right, Charlie. All Alita need would be a little bit of kryptonite. She'd win that fight, you know. Plus, I do think if she fought Wonder Woman, she'd win. I think Alita would win, you know. But I think Zek's fighting Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's going to win. You know, because I think she's faster than he is, and probably stronger than he is. So, and she's a goddess. So, and she's a great fighter. And Zex is a great fighter too. There's no doubt about it. You know, but I think Wonder Woman,
Well,
pretty tough. You know. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd go Zex, because don't forget Cheetos, or whatever her name was, is basically all like flesh and blood, just with enhanced strength and speed and all that other jazz. And
Okay.
she still managed to go toe to toe with an upgraded
Wonder Woman.
upgraded Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good.
He knows how to fight in his body, and thanks to Zeka, he's like growing in strength or in tandem with his body as well. So he's almost like a Saiyan in the sense that, you know, you get stronger with every battle.
Yeah.
Because you learn just a little bit more about, I don't know, in Zex's case, how to generate more power as opposed to technique with Panzerkunst.
Yeah. Now, I would say one thing about Wonder Woman, but you make a good point, is she did defeat and kill a god. You know, she killed Ares, you know, and that's no small feat, you know, a god. You know, so I mean, that's pretty badass right there, you know. So and I think Charlie agrees with you, Angelus. He thinks Zex would win. Certainly Sex would win, probably, but yeah, Zex.
Yes, we won't get into that.
Yeah, but okay. So, but I think this would be a tough fight either way. You know, I mean, yeah, I could see Zex winning. You know, there's no doubt about it. But I think, I don't know. I just think it'd be a very, very tough fight, and I think Wonder Woman would eventually win. But yeah, Zex could win. There's no doubt.
Well, didn't Wonder Woman, and this is because I know less about Wonder Woman than I do about sex.
Go ahead, Angel.
I said sex.
Zex.
Sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know you know nothing about sex, Liz. So.
Yeah, right. All right, Angelus, what were you going to say? Finish your thought.
Didn't she have the that God Killer?
Yeah, she's got that God Killer sword. Although she tried to stab Ares with it, and he just made it disintegrate, if you remember. So, you know, he was pretty powerful, Ares. You know,
but he was still killable.
Yeah, he still got his just desserts, didn't he? So. Okay, so we may have a possible tie there for sure. What about Zazie versus Batman? Now, remember, keep in mind, Batman has prepared for this. Now, I think if Zazie, you know, if Batman doesn't have time to prepare for it, I think Zazie's going to win. But now Batman has prepared for this.
He wins. If he's prepared, he wins.
I agree.
Because he beat Superman when he was prepared, but then they both had the same mum names, so they hugged each other, and then that was that.
Yep, that's right. Now go ahead, Angelus.
I wouldn't disagree and say Zazie, because Zazie's got what like I like to call battlefield adaptability. She can when fighting against Rakan,
Yeah.
she adapted to Rakan's tricks
Yeah.
and managed to beat him.
Yeah.
As who's to say that against Batman, once he is prepared against Zazi's initial combat capabilities, who's to say she can't adapt?
Yeah, that's
or
true. You got a good.
Who's to say Batman can't adapt?
Yeah.
Dizzy, do you know how Zazie beats Rakan in the Battle Angel manga?
I haven't read it, mate.
She takes a gun and she sticks it in his ass and then shoots him, and then it shows like the X-ray. Shows like the X-ray of the bullet going up his ass and then out the top of his head, and he goes, "No, but I'm an anal virgin," and those are his last words.
So who would win out of him or Kryptonite? Who's that? The Pink Superman.
Pink Superman versus the anal virgin. I don't know. I mean, shit, that's a good fight.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, we could make the case that Wonder Woman and Zex and Zazie and Batman could be iffy, plus or minus. One could win the other, and all that. This is just Creaky's ideas here. I would say that if Zex did beat Wonder Woman and Zazie did beat Batman, of course, that changes the outcome of this, But let's say Wonder Woman beats Zex and Zazie beats Batman, or Zex beats Wonder Woman and Batman beats Zazie. The Justice League still wins, because I don't see Alita beating Superman unless she has kryptonite, and she doesn't have kryptonite in this battle. So
you never know if she finds that she's not going to be able to defeat Superman in time, she could just be but she knows that Zazie or Zex are gaining ground in their battles. She could just be biding time until they can go 3-on-1. But
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that could happen. I could see Alita just fighting him with the intended outcome of a draw, or like you say, just to delay, what he does, because she is certainly potent enough to do that. She is powerful enough to, because I don't think, even though I got Superman beating her there, I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think he's going to beat her in like 10 seconds. I think this is going to be a hard, brutal fight, and it's going to last a while. That's what I think those two, if they were to fight. I don't think it's going to be automatic. Superman's going to kick Alita's butt within about 20 seconds. I don't think that's going to happen. Even though he's as powerful as he is, she's pretty freaking powerful herself in that Imaginos 2.1 body. So and I guess a lot of folks that have not read the Last Order or the manga, they don't understand just how powerful Alita is in this body. They just don't have a concept because they haven't read it, so. But anyway, I still think Superman would win, but it would be very close. It'd be like a football game that would go into overtime, or say a soccer game that would go into overtime. That's what I think it would be like. It'd be that tough. And of course, if Zex and Zazie won, then of course Alita has done her thing. She's held him off long enough, for those two to win. Then there's no reason for them to continue to fight. So
is Alita connected to Jupiter?
Yes. Yeah, she's connected to the black hole and to Melchizedek.
I'd debate that even Alita could beat Superman on the basis of finding the science behind kryptonite and why it weakens Superman.
Okay.
And perhaps either simulate or synthesize the effect, or find another property that could have the same outcome.
What if Superman took those out? Just flew through them like buildings.
Well, he's going to be fighting her. He's not going to be fighting You know, he's not going to fly to Jupiter and take that out. You know, I mean, that's not the intent of the competition here. You know, he's going to be
for the same reason that Alita would lose, in the context that it wouldn't be over in the Flash.
Yeah.
Flip the script and, you know, let's throw the theory out there of the weakening effect of kryptonite being a biological thing, and like who's to say that the black hole isn't a smart enough supercomputer to, like I said, replicate the effect.
Or you mean the Melchizedek? You mean
Melchizedek, or
Yeah.
both? It's like,
yeah. Okay.
shit, you got two
Okay.
supercomputers.
Well,
And
she
this
would
is all conjecture, all theory. So
sure. Yeah. Well, she'd have to be connected, I guess, to the scientists that are, in orbit around Jupiter, where they could synthesize or or develop a synthetic kryptonite. You know, I mean, and they could do that, pretty instantaneously. So but I think whether or not it's synthetic kryptonite or real kryptonite, of course, kryptonite's not real, but for the sake of the movies and stuff like that, I mean, that's the only way she's going to beat him. I think if she gets her hands on a kryptonite or like a kryptonite, kind of substitute, that's the only way I think she can actually beat him.
Let's even out the effect and say that synthesized version doesn't have the full effect.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to completely nullify, or rather, she doesn't need to completely nullify Superman's power. Just needs to nullify it enough for her own ability to even the odds.
Yeah. Well, Superman has been knocked out. I think Darkseid knocked him out one time. I think I saw that on YouTube somewhere. So, but he didn't kill him. Because he's invulnerable. So I think Doomsday killed Superman, but of course Superman and Doomsday killed each other. So he can be killed, he can be defeated. I just don't, but of course they had that kryptonite there, and of course Doomsday was he was a Kryptonian or deviant or something, like human Kryptonian deviant or something like that. So.
But long story short, and to sum it all up, there's an old saying that I learned from Dungeons and Dragons, of all things, is that you don't need to be the fastest person on the team. You just need to be faster than the slowest person on the team.
Yeah, that's right.
And same parallel with the kryptonite, or even just a weakened version of kryptonite on Superman. She doesn't need to weaken him completely, just weaken him enough.
Yeah.
And again, it's just conjecture if kryptonite can be replicated at all.
Yeah.
So I got a question. If Superman is invulnerable, then how come kryptonite makes him vulnerable? And if you mean that he's actually immortal, then why are all the Kryptonians dead?
I don't think he's immortal. I think he's just extremely tough, because Darkseid did kill him. They killed each other.
He's not invulnerable then.
He's not invulnerable, but of course, Doomsday. Doomsday was kind of a Kryptonian human type of deviant, is what he was, and certainly Superman killed Doomsday with a kryptonite spear, that type thing. So, but yeah, you're right, Dan. He's not immortal in the truest sense of the word. Of course, immortality, that's a different thing. But he is extremely tough. He would be, I would say, killing him would be a challenge, to say the very least.
But it's been done, which means it can be done again.
It has been done, and he has been knocked out. So, Alita could beat him if she just knocked him out.
Everything can die.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Not me.
Yeah. No worries, RoboCop.
Except maybe the one above all, if you remember that one from Marvel. He's supposed to be Marvel's representation of God, I guess. But yeah, to Den's point, Superman is not immortal. He can be killed, and yes, he can be knocked out. And I think Alita could knock him out. She does have that much power, you know. But I'm just saying, if those two fought each other, I think Superman would probably win 6 out of 10. That's just my opinion, you know, in this particular body. Now, if she was in a Berserker body, she don't stand a chance, you know. But in the Imaginos 2.1 body, she definitely stands a chance, you know.
And ultimately, before we go into the next slide, it's I think Stan Lee most recently said it best, and it's just up to whatever the author decides. If he wants the Hulk to win in a Hulk versus Spider-Man match, then he'll bloody well find a way to win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right. He was interviewed. He said, "Who would win if Thor fought the Hulk?" And he'd say, "Anybody, either one I wanted to win." That was a nice little response to that person, you know. I mean, okay. So anyway, I think any one of these could beat the others, but
this is tricky.
Would you agree that the Justice League at least would have the edge? I mean, if you were to come up with a probability of winning, I think the Justice League's probability of winning would be greater than 0.5 or 50%. Do you all agree with that?
They'd have the advantage from the get-go, and I'd like to think Batman alone would be smart enough to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
You know, before, I mean, not to say that the Space Angels aren't dumb, but and Batman would have to be on his A game, but he'd still be capable of doing it.
Or Batman would be smart enough to be like, this is a losing fight. Let's just not do this.
Yeah. Well, then they'd be conceding, wouldn't he? So.
Yeah, and then he'd be living to fight another day, and then maybe like, I don't know, slip ricin into their soda or whatever, you know.
Okay. Okay, Safani Sung, any thoughts?
No, that's just. I'm good, guys.
Okay.
That's listening, guy.
Okay. Do not stand by.
Well, I think that Melchizedek might give Batman a run for his money, especially since it could run through all the possibilities of their fight, including possibilities that Batman would consider. And also, the Space Angels are 500 years in the future, so they do have the technological edge. So I wouldn't. I would say it's actually more even than that. Sorry, I have to run though. It was great being part of the first hour, but I have to go now. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Okay, you too. Do not stand by, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, man.
Ta-ta.
Isn't that an English thing, Busy?
Well, it's not like he can speak Australian.
Yeah.
You're the one that sounds like you got balls in your mouth.
Okay, we'll move on from that. Okay, the Space Angels versus the Avengers. Now, this is what the Creaky thinks. Go ahead, Angela.
I was just going to say, I can't help if his mum whips it out.
All right. So anyway, Alita versus Thor. I think Alita wins that one because Thor, you know, she has the edge on speed with him, and I think she's actually stronger than he is too. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy fight. It definitely is not, you know, but I think in her 2.1 body, she's going to win this one.
Isn't Thor out of shape now?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Isn't Thor out of shape now?
Yeah. Well, you mean Fat Thor? She definitely beats Fat Thor because he is out of shape. Okay, this next one is going to be a little controversial because I think Iron Man beats Zex. Now, this could go the other way, admittedly, you know. And I think Zazie beats Captain America, and I think that one would be pretty easy. I mean, you know, they both have that ability to adapt on the battlefield, like Angela said, but Z.O.T.T is just, she's a TR cyborg. She's got that great adaptability, and she's in some ways she is like Hawkeye. She shoots at stuff and she doesn't miss. So I think it'd be a tough fight, but I think she's going to win. I think she's going to win most of the fights. So what do you think?
Iron Man can't even fight. He's just a nerd in high-tech cosplay.
Okay. So you think Zex would beat Iron Man easily, huh?
Zex actually has some understanding of fighting. And I don't know, I guess you could say when his tech fails, but I mean, they both have tech, but there's a guy who understands fighting versus a guy who just, I don't know. It's like
understands tech.
Yeah.
Iron Man's just like a nerd in a suit. And he's an alcoholic too. I mean, he's probably going to be hungover and shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking Zex doesn't get hungover, so.
Yeah. Well, he does drink that Iron Man does drink that green stuff, whatever that stuff is. I don't know
and he's a vegan now, so that makes it even worse. So there you go. He's not going to win this fight.
Okay, so Dan's voting for Zex to beat Iron Man. So you think this would be a 3-0 thing, right, in favor of the Space Angels, right?
Okay, so Alita versus Thor. I think Thor takes it.
Really?
Zex versus Iron Man. I think Zex takes it. Z.O.T.T versus Captain America. That one's pretty close. Because, I mean, Captain America was always like the dud of the Marvel people, right? I mean, he's just like, he's just kind of strong, can lift the 50-pound dumbbell instead of the 45. You know what I mean? Like, that's about all he's got. So, I think Z.O.T.T takes that one.
All right.
I would flip Iron Man and Cap.
Okay.
So Zex versus Cap and Z.O.T.T versus Iron Man. I'd give Iron Man a little bit more credit, but not through fight IQ as I now have picked up from Den.
Okay.
But more on, I mean, he did pull that time theory bullshit out of his ass in Endgame, but and like he made it look easy. So he's definitely got the smarts, what's the word I'm looking for? Tactical head, as does Z.O.T.T. Z.O.T.T's got a TR cyborg. Iron Man's got the suits.
Okay.
And Z.O.T.T's known guns. Iron Man's got his rays, missiles, and all sorts of other gadgets.
See, I think Zex would beat Captain America easy.
Here's the thing: Z.O.T.T has not only extensive combat training but combat experience. She's a soldier.
Yes.
She survived against Erica, who's really fucking overpowered. Erica was strong enough to give Alita in her strongest form a run for her money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Erica is out there whooping everybody's ass. And Z.O.T.T survived that shit. You know what I mean? Z.O.T.T was someone who even Alita in her original Imaginos body respected. You know what I mean? Back when they met. So Z.O.T.T's pretty fucking strong. She's got real experience. She knows, what's what. You know what I mean? She didn't just catch this shit from YouTube videos like fucking Iron Man did. You know what I mean? Watching everybody else fighting and fucking thinking about math problems or whatever he thinks about. You know what I mean? So.
Do we now Dan, you think Thor beats Alita, right? What's your reasoning behind that?
Thor's pretty fucking overpowered. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what the criteria for this is, if we're just looking at the movies or if we're looking for the overall thing. I know from, like I said, I'm pretty much just a Dragon Ball fan, but from watching people power scale Dragon Ball characters to these other characters, I know that Thor, when you include all the other continuities, is fucking really strong. For the movies, they had to depower most of these characters. Like, I know that Hulk supposedly can go toe-to-toe with Broly from Dragon Ball, and that just makes him stupid, ridiculously powerful. So, and then if Hulk goes toe-to-toe with Thor, because Hulk and Thor also fought, I know that. Never seen it, but knew it happened. That means Thor is pretty goddamn strong, and he's a god. So that right there just makes Thor ridiculous.
I would agree with you if Alita was in a berserker body. I would agree with you. I think Thor would beat her easily, but she's not in her berserker body. She's in that Imaginos 2.1 body, which is crazy ass strong. So
how would you scale that? Would you scale that to city block level? Because
I would scale that to maybe somewhere close to Goku in one of his strongest forms, or maybe Broly. I mean, I think that's where I would put her. I don't think she'd be as strong as them, but I think she'd be pretty fucking close, you know. And I think
I'm gonna say this. That's getting really up there because that's why people laugh at Dragon Ball. I mean, Goku almost accidentally blew up the universe, just disintegrated it on accident, and he's thousands of times stronger now.
I don't think she's well. She's not that strong, but here's my point. Here's my point. Alita she has behind her the power of the black hole, and she has the compute power of Melchizedek behind her. I don't see Thor being able to overcome the power of a black hole. I mean, a black hole, it's so powerful that light can't even escape from it, you know. So that's why I think she beats Thor. Now, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. I think it's going to be kind of like the Superman fight. It's going to be it's going to be a drawn out, just a hellacious battle, But I don't think Thor is as strong as Superman. I think Superman takes him, and I'd also go ahead.
I was going to say, so here's my thing. So the only thing that I'm saying is the fact that from what I see, from what I know, Thor just outclasses all these characters here in this comparison. You know what I mean? Like there's these characters on one tier, and then Thor would be several tiers above all these characters here. Not saying Alita's weak. And with black holes, those are kind of hard to scale. You know what I mean? Because black holes are extremely strong, but only locally. You know what I mean? A black hole, a lot of black holes out there that we know about were only made from one star. So when you say that Goku in the Saiyan saga was star level of power, he could destroy a star. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, then, a star collapses into a black hole. And yes, a black hole is still much stronger, but at the same time, it only has as much mass. And because it only has as much mass as a star, it only has as much gravity as a star. You see what I'm saying? So,
but see, I don't see Thor. Now, I'm not talking about Rune King Thor here. I'm talking about Thor in the MCU.
So yeah, that's what I asked earlier. So if we're doing it for all Thors, then Thor is leagues above all these characters.
Well, I think Rune King Thor. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Rune King Thor would actually win. I think he definitely would. Yeah. He would be like Superman or Broly or one of those, But this is not Rune King Thor. This is MCU Thor.
I don't really know who Rune King Thor is, but yeah, if we're doing MCU Thor, then yeah, that's definitely. I think that Alita takes MCU Thor easily.
Yeah. Okay, so we agreed then. I guess the Space Angels would beat the Avengers, although it'd be tough. I think it'd be a tough fight.
Well, it wouldn't be a matter of seconds, but it'd be a matter of minutes for the Sex and Zazie fight. And they would just sit around eating popcorn, watching Alita and Thor have at it.
Yeah,
one of them wins, or rather, until Alita starts to lose, then they join in and then they win. But
so you think Zex would beat Iron Man pretty easy? Is that right, Angelus?
I reckon that Zazie would be able to beat either Iron Man or Captain America.
Okay.
To the point where, again, she would just eventually beat whoever her opponent is, help out Zex, and then Zex and Zazie then help Alita.
Okay. All right, so I guess we all agree. I guess we may disagree on who beats who on some of this, but I think, do we all agree the Space Angels would probably beat the Avengers? Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah. I think we also agree that I lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Diz? Do you think Space Angels beat the Avengers?
Dizzy, mate.
Not discounting the power of Uwu. Charlie. I think Diz might be. He might have stepped away for a bit. So. All right, let's move on to the next one.
One too many VBs.
Yeah. Okay, Alita, this Space Angels versus X-Men, and that's these three characters. There's a whole bunch of X-Men, just like there's a whole bunch of Avengers. So I just the Creep just picked these three because he likes them, you know. So Alita versus Magneto, I think Alita wins. I mean, I know Magneto can control metal and stuff like that, but Alita being connected to the black hole, you know, when which light can escape, cannot escape, and certainly magnetism is electromagnetic force. So she's going to overpower that.
Well,
Zex,
at the very least, it'd nullify, like.
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Now I think it would be a tough fight. You know, I do. I mean, but I think she would win. I think this would be probably a little easier, you know, than I still think it wouldn't be trivial for her to win, but I think it'd be easier for her to beat Magneto than it would be for her to beat Superman or Thor. That's just my opinion, you know. And then Zex versus Wolverine, I think Zex wins. You know, Wolverine's pretty freaking tough, but, you know, Zex has got all that experience fighting. Now, certainly Wolverine does too. I mean, he fought in the Civil War and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I think Zex takes that. And Zazie, I think she loses to Quicksilver just because Quicksilver moves at relativistic speeds, and Zazie's not going to be able to contend with that. She's not going to be able to see it, you know, and he's just going to overpower her. That's what I think. What do you guys think?
Well, I'll say that I think personally, Alita loses to Magneto only because she can control nanobots, but he can just control metal itself. Technological metal, non-technological metal, whether it's a bat or a computer, he can pick it up and throw it at you. So with with the fact that she has metal in her body, whether it's her body or her brain chip, he can just lift her up and move her wherever he wants her to. It's like my wife, right? My wife says, "No, I don't want to go in the car," and I'm like, "I'm bigger than you. I can just pick you up and put you in the car." You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter.
I'd be careful with that if I was you, Dan.
I know, I'm just playing.
Yeah,
it's a joke we have. But
he's going to do the tiebreaker too.
But also, I think the black hole won't matter too much, like I said, because he's not going to allow her. And I think you said something about black holes and magnetism or something like that. I know that black holes are electromagnetically neutral, so I don't think that's going to do anything to Magneto. And then Zex versus Wolverine, Zex wins easily.
Yeah.
And Zazie versus Quicksilver, I think Quicksilver wins because she relies on the speed of her ammunition. That's what shooting is, period.
Yep.
And he's faster than that, so she can control electromagnetic fields. So then I guess it's even.
Well, I think Jeff was saying Alita can control electromagnetic fields. See, my point about Alita beating Magneto, even though he can control electromagnetic fields, is that, you know, electromagnetism, you know, this is all, you know, photons. I mean, it's really, even a photon is electromagnetic force. And if Alita is connected to the black hole, you know, she's going to be stronger. She's going to be able to resist his ability to control the metal in her body. That's what I think.
I don't know how that follows. I mean, I don't know the science behind that or the logic, so I couldn't tell you yes or no. But yeah, if they both control electromagnetic fields, because I was under the impression that Alita had control over the nanobots themselves. But maybe I could be misremembering that.
Yeah.
Well,
because I know for a fact when it came to the calling the thunder down, that was because she was magnetically charged because of the storm, and that's something to do with her plasma. I don't know if that had to do with fields. But Jeff, you would have to elaborate.
Yeah, well, okay, just to put it simply, I guess, there's chaos again. Just to put it simply, I think the fact, without trying to explain the science on here, we need Maxie here, I guess. We need those damn scientists on here, don't we? But I think
biologist, mate.
yeah, you're right. You know, you're right. But anyway, I think though Alita, I think her strength, her power, you know, I think she is stronger, her being connected to the black hole. I think she is stronger than Magneto's ability to control electromagnetism or metal. I think she could resist him because she is that strong. Another thing she's got going for is the speed. I mean, she can move at relativistic speeds, and he cannot. So he's not going to be able to see her, you know. So, but okay, I could see where he could win. I mean, if he caught her somehow, you know, unexpectedly or something like that, I think he could win. I mean, definitely, because she does have metal in her, you know. But I think as long as she's aware that she's fighting him, I think she has the strength to withstand his control of metal, and she's fast enough to take him out. So, you know, that's just my opinion. So, any other thoughts there? Izzy, did you run off and drink coffee or something? What'd you do? Yeah, Brain Chain says this is turning into an astrophysics lesson. Yes, it is. Astrophysics lessons where nobody knows astrophysics. That's pretty hilarious, I think. So
Exactly. I don't know astrophysics, by the way. I just
yeah.
But I would say, Jeff, yeah, you're right about that. I do remember that. But is that being able to control magnetic fields in a wide range? Because we do know that electromagnetic fields and all that shit drops off over distance. So
Yeah.
I know that Magneto is able to control some massive, huge, big shit from very far away. And
Yeah.
some very powerful characters just with minimal blood and a minimal metal inside of them.
Yeah.
Whereas Alita, from what I've seen, I saw her control the plasma that was in her immediate control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that scales to Magneto's his control over it. I just know that she's made out of metal, and that's a huge disadvantage when you're fighting Magneto. That's just all I know. That's where I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna spare the physics lessons for people who are much smarter than me.
Okay.
Well, that's true. Magneto's control over magnetic fields is far greater. That's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of how much of an effect that would have on the battle itself. Because, I mean, how many things can Magneto do at once in the middle of a fight?
I know in the movies we've seen him do a lot.
Yeah.
Throwing a lot of shit.
Oh
around.
yeah, he is a matter of fact.
Yeah, I'm talking about like he disassemble Alita's magnetic field and then disassemble Alita's metal body.
I don't know about all that. I just know that I don't think he would allow her to move. That's just it. Hey, don't move. Stay right there.
If he saw her, because remember she's not in
before the fight.
Well, yeah, she's not. Remember, she's not in her berserker body. I think if she was in a berserker body, he'd win easy. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But think about this, and this is the only thing I got to compare with on this one. And I'm not going to make any kind of a conjecture about how Alita compares with Jean Grey. But there was a scene in the last X-Men movie where Magneto kind of comes up to Jean Grey, and she's standing on top of a staircase, and he bends this metal. Looks like that was on the staircase, something like it had a point on it, and he tried to go right to her face with it, or her eye, and she stopped him immediately. And not only did she stop him, she overpowered his ability, his magnetic, control of, metal, and she started crushing his helmet. I mean, now she's pretty powerful herself, but I think
that's
just
Jean Grey.
Yeah, I
like saying, I'm fighting what's his name? You know what I mean? I'm fighting Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's weak because he lost to a bear. It's like, yeah, Conor McGregor's still a badass, but that's a fucking bear.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, just because he can control metal doesn't mean he's going to win. I think the fact that, now Chaos, I guess he made the point that the black hole she's connected to is very small. I don't think that matters that much. A black hole is pretty freaking powerful. If it's a supermassive black hole, of course, that's a different story. But I just think, I don't think he scales. I do not think Magneto scales to Superman, let's say. I just don't think he does. I think he's powerful, but I don't think he is that strong. So
this is why I think that superhero power scaling is kind of weird, but also it's kind of fun in a way because it's logical. Because it's not like Dragon Ball, right? Dragon Ball plays very much on like real life power standards. You know what I mean? Is this guy stronger than this guy? That's it. Whereas superheroes like to play on like rock paper scissors kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like Wolverine would beat most people in X-Men, but he can't beat Magneto because Magneto would just stop him. You know what I mean? And the thing is, Jean Grey is supposed to be ultimate power in X-Men or something like that, as far as I know. Yeah. She has all of Magneto's powers, except she can do it with anything, not just metal. And she has no metal in her body. So I just don't think that's a great comparison. The fact is, Alita has metal in her body somewhere, whether it's, like I said, whether it's her skin or bones, her nano chip. And the fact is that he can literally just stop her from moving. And there will be a second in there that he will be able to do that. And even then, you know what I mean? How does he stop things from moving? Like I said, it's a massive control over magnetic fields from long distances. I mean, even if she's moving, he can just let her he can like put a magnetic net and just say, you cannot pass this point. Bam, he's got her trapped. You see what I'm saying? That's what makes Magneto such a threat in the X-Men universe. You know what I mean? He's not a very strong fighter, but he has what we call in the power scaling community hack abilities. He has hack powers. Alita has hack powers as well, but she has hack powers against people who are also other cyborgs. You know what I mean? Or have brain chips. Like Agamabadi. So she's able to do a bunch of crazy things that look like magic. You see what I'm saying? But in the context of that, and those are her hack abilities. You know what I mean? Or like reviving and stuff like that. So the fact that Magneto is very weak but has hack abilities, that's what puts him above. And it's kind of like what in the last Dragon Ball arc in the manga. They fought a guy who was a wizard. He wasn't powerful, he wasn't a fighter, but he was a wizard. And that's what put him on the same plateau as Goku and Vegeta, being able to fight them because of his hack abilities. And that's where Magneto's coming from.
Welcome, Kunstler. How's it going?
Oh, it's going. I had to jump on.
No problem.
To talk about this. So, especially when it comes to Alita and Magneto, I think at least she would be not susceptible to his manipulation because she would be able to control the magnetic field around herself at least. But so that being said, I think with her speed and her being able to even launch or throw, his movements are still not at relativistic speeds.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking because of her ability to be able to manipulate electromagnetic fields around herself, at least, and things that she's in contact or touching, such as like plasma, I think she would still have the upper hand because of her speed and his. I think it would be a tough fight in general because he'd be able to launch things at her, but I think she would just be fast enough to avoid them.
So, question. She's able to control magnetic fields locally. And since magnetic fields do drop off over distance, right? They drop off greatly over distance. Does that mean that her magnetic field is weaker? And if it is weaker, does that mean that his much stronger, much more distant magnetic field would be able to overpower her local control over her magnetic field?
Well, let's look at this though, because the giant, the huge, basically android that what is it? Not Sachimoto, but like that giant one from Volume 2. He would have had a much stronger magnetic field, right? Just because of sheer size and what would be producing them. But she still was able to manage against him by reversing the polarity. He might be able to manipulate metal, but she has the knowledge of how to even reverse polarity on certain things. So I think because of her knowledge in her use of it, I still think she would have the upper hand slightly. Not saying that she wouldn't necessarily be affected, but because of the sheer power that she has, that he hasn't really fought I don't think he's fought a foe that strong and powerful in the series based on what she has physical power with her mechanical body. I think she still have the upper hand with that. Go ahead. She's able to manipulate her own body with her magnetic field control.
Well, I do know that Magneto did fight Apocalypse. If you saw that movie X-Men Apocalypse, and it was kind of like, now Apocalypse was he was a mutant. I wouldn't call him a god. He was a mutant. He was a powerful mutant. But he did kind of what you were saying there, Kunstler. He'd put that shield around himself, and Magneto could not penetrate that shield. Now it's a different person, and we don't know how they scale. Because they're different universes, and Apocalypse is different than Alita and so forth. But that's a point that he was able to do that, because probably, in terms of being able to manipulate metal, probably Magneto was stronger than Apocalypse, but Apocalypse can do other things, including putting that shield around himself, and that was kind of like an electromagnetic shield itself. And what beat him?
Was it?
Yes, yeah, it was. Well, what did beat him, though, eventually, it took about 4 or 5 of them to beat him. But what did beat him is when Storm called down lightning and hit his shield, and it disintegrated his shield, allowing Jean Grey to disintegrate him, So, it could be a similar thing there with Alita. If she could do that, if she could put up a similar field around herself, because she is connected to a lot of power, and she could call down lightning. It'd be very similar, to what Apocalypse did. Now, Apocalypse lost us, obviously, but
so it was an electromagnetic field.
I believe. Now they don't really say, but that's what I think it was. So
I'm just reading here that Magneto can manipulate the iron in a person's blood to take control of their actions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Magneto's he can do that. Powerful. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying. So the only reason why I asked you that question, Creek, is because that's conjecture on your side. So I want to make sure that's pretty even with what we're saying.
I think so.
There's conjecture on my side too. The fact that I just do not think that Alita's local control over a magnetic field, which we know magnetic fields drop off over distance. The fact that he's able to control things from many, many, many very, very large things from far away. His far overpowers her. So especially if they were close, his would overpower anything she could do. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's no hard. I'm just going off of what we've seen these characters do. I mean, I don't think we've seen Alita use any sort of force fields. There's no proof either way whether or not what's his name, Darkseid or whatever. Oh yeah, so there's that. Yeah, the plasma field. There we go. You're right about that. But that protected her from an explosion, not a magnetic field. You know what I mean? A field is kind of a different thing than an explosion.
Yeah. But I would say this. I would say this.
A magnetic field to protect her against that explosion.
Well, I do know that Magneto threw everything he could at Apocalypse, and it had no effect. So he tried every trick in the book, and he was not penetrating him. He wasn't getting through his shield.
So you're saying she scales to Apocalypse?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying if she could, the fight would be over pretty fast. If she could do that, if she could do a similar type field, or just a field that would repulse. It doesn't have to, blunt force stop it. It could just deter it long enough for her to get away, because she can move at relativistic speeds. That's all I'm saying, and that's why I think she would win.
I just think that Magneto would be a huge hump to overcome, just because of the fact that he's basically a metal bender from the Avatar universe.
Yep.
And she's made out of metal. Like, you are his thing. Like, the thing that he's good at is you. So, you know what I mean?
Okay. So I think, so we got a dissenting opinion there, which is good. We
seem to have underestimating Alita's own control over magnetic fields, because not only will she be able to make like a magnetic field to protect her from the explosion. I'm just reading through the Makaku fight, and
that was a gas explosion, by the way. So it wasn't some high-tier universe-ending shit.
Well, I just didn't realize she had that much control over magnetic fields. That's all. But I'd still be leaning towards Magneto's expertise, because that's his shtick. Like his whole thing is like control over magnetic fields and magnetism. So, it's a matter of, can Alita nullify his powers long enough before Magneto does the same to her? And that's more of a matter of when and not if, I guess.
Yeah.
Do we ever,
Here's what I
say,
say.
determine who was quicker out of Quicksilver and Alita?
Quicksilver, I'd say.
Yeah, but didn't we have a debate on the Flash as well?
Yeah, well, we
Alita could
did have
keep up.
that. Yeah, we did have that stream where Quicksilver was the slowest of the four of them. So, but he was still damn fast. There's no doubt about it. But
I was just reading there that Magneto's weakness is Quicksilver because of his speed. Just knocks him out all the time.
I'm going to say this. This is one thing that a lot of people are taking into account here with Magneto. I'd say Magneto, because so I compare him to Frieza in Dragon Ball, who is not a fighter, but is very powerful. And his downfall oftentimes is his fact that he's has a lot of hubris and doesn't have a fighter instinct or fight IQ. So Magneto, from what I've seen in the movies, haven't watched a lot of the show, is more likely to play with his food, which is why he hasn't killed Wolverine when he could. You know what I mean? He more often just picks you up and then gives you a villain speech. You know what I mean? That right there would be a point towards Alita. That's one thing that people haven't thought of, I guess.
I don't know. Magneto killed those guys in that bar in Argentina. He had no compunction about that.
Because aren't they Nazis and he was like a Jew in the Holocaust?
That's true.
So, I mean, that's different.
Yeah,
that's personal.
That's true. That's true. So anyway, we got at least one and possibly two dissenting opinions about Alita versus Magneto, but and good points for sure. Creek still thinks Alita wins, but okay, I see your logic behind some of this.
So one thing that I think was kind of interesting with what's his name, Quicksilver, is that there's in one movie where he does something similar to the Hertz of Heon, where he like breaks the glass.
Yeah.
Does anyone see that?
Yep.
I thought that was just kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's where he put that food and it said "mind the glass." And he puts his hands on it and vibrates it, to where the glass breaks. That was a pretty neat scene right there, and I liked it when he said there's pretty soon there's going to be a dozen guards there. Magneto says they're going to come and kill us, and he said, "Yeah, that's what I'm counting on." So when they open the door, he just goes right by them, boom, just like that. Yeah, chaos. That's Days of Future Past. That's exactly right. So.
Days of Future Gas. Oh, I went there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So anyway, we got some disagreement on Alita versus Magneto. I think most of us think Alita wins, but we have a significant argument for Magneto, so that's cool. I think we all agree that Zex is going to beat Wolverine, right? We all agree on that one. And
if Spider-Man can beat Wolverine, Zex can beat Wolverine. That's my opinion.
Exactly. And of course, we all agree that Quicksilver is going to beat Zazie. Now, that's not to say Zazie can't win, but I think if they fight each other 10 times, I think Quicksilver is going to win 9. That's what I think, So because he's so freaking fast, Now, Quicksilver is not a fighter, He definitely is not that. There was that scene in X-Men Apocalypse where he kind of runs up to Apocalypse or in Seven-Ur. And instead of, just, hitting him, going at him at maybe 10% the speed of light and hitting him with a bat or something like that and making his head explode, he runs in front of him, stops, and he kind of has a grimace and he just starts punching him, that ain't going to work, because what he should have done in that sequence is just, moving as fast as he could, hit him, where it's so hard that he just explodes. That's what he should have done.
Doesn't the Flash have a move like that, like the light speed punch or something? I remember that from the DC games.
Yeah, it's called the Infinite Mass Punch is what it's called.
Yeah. Like
him and Superman both have that punch.
It was in the DC games. I don't know if you're familiar with Mortal Kombat games, Creek, but it was like Mortal Kombat, but it was DC characters. Yep. And it was like one move where he just runs around the entire Earth and hits you with one punch.
Yep, that's right.
Like she'd maybe only have one chance to pull it off, but again, and it doesn't even matter which version of Quicksilver, because don't forget, Age of Ultron got shot and killed.
Yeah.
And what did
that's
Zazi
right.
use?
Yeah, Zazie could do a similar thing, I guess, couldn't she?
Like she'd definitely have to like pull some serious. Again, using one of Den's terms, like she'd have to use all of her experience and her fight IQ, and it'd have to be pretty ideal conditions. I wouldn't say the perfect storm, but definitely ideal conditions at least to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely no reason why Zazie wouldn't be able to hit Quicksilver with a bullet.
Well, I think Zazie would have a higher battle IQ or fight IQ than Quicksilver. I don't think he's got a very high fight IQ. He's just fast.
Isn't he just a kid too?
Well, it depends on which universe. I mean, in the Avengers universe, he's a fully grown adult, and then of course in the in the X-Men universe, he's like a teenager, or maybe 19 or something like that. But because I guess it was one scene in there where they go over to his house, and his mother lets him in and all that, and Wolverine tells Professor X, he says, he said, I knew him, but he was not so young, and then of course Quicksilver says, it's not that I'm young, it's just that you're old. So he's in that universe he's young, but in the Age of Ultron he's old. He's older. He's not old. He's probably in his mid-30s, or something like that.
Or late 20s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, she'd have to use all of her fight experience and fight IQ, but like I'd probably say, 70-30, maybe even 60-40 towards Quicksilver.
Okay.
I mean, his sheer speed is what sets him above to begin with.
Yeah.
And basically Quicksilver would need to be have the type of attitude to like play with his food, again, as Den puts it, and Zazie would have to be like on the ball when it comes to tactical advantage.
Yeah.
But if those two boxes are ticked, then she wins.
Well, I think if Alita fights Quicksilver, Alita wins. I think it's easy because she's not only probably a little faster than he is, like we determined in that one stream, but she has fight IQ and he does not. So she's faster than him and she can fight. He can't. So I mean, I think that would, and she has experience fighting too, where he does not. I mean, he certainly is very fast. But he doesn't. He's not like Alita. He doesn't know a martial art or anything like that because. I guess it was that one scene where, I guess it was Magneto said he didn't know karate. He just knew crazy or something. So that wasn't Quicksilver. But I still think Quicksilver doesn't have the fight IQ that say Alita or Zazie or Zex for that matter. He does not have that fight IQ like those three have. So if you switch that around, I think Alita wins easily. And I think Magneto beats Zazie easily because she's not fast and she can try to shoot him, but he can stop bullets. I mean, he can emit an electromagnetic field that would stop bullets. Kind of like when they shot on the X-Men First Class, when they fired all those missiles at the beach, he stopped all of them in their tracks and then redirected them back to the ships that shot them, So, I think he would beat Zazie easily. Magneto would. Okay, so we had a little bit of a disagreement there on Alita and Magneto, but that's cool. I have no problem with that. I think the consensus is that probably the Space Angels would win, but it would be close. I think it'd be, each one of the fights. I think the Zex and Wolverine fight, I mean, I like Wolverine. I like the Hugh Jackman, character, and I like the character in the comics and stuff like that. But I think Zex wins that one easy. I don't think Wolverine's going to be much of a challenge for him. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
Again, ever since I met Dan, I've always sort of it's opened my mind. But I think this is the kind of fight where if the Space Angels did win, it'd be on points as opposed to knockout.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just it.
Okay.
And it'd be 60-40 towards either side.
Yeah.
And wouldn't be any much more of a deviation than that.
Okay.
It wouldn't be 70-30 or 80-20 towards either side. It'd be 60-40 or less.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that. Yeah.
And regardless of which way it swings, again, it'd be on points rather than outright overpowering them.
Well, Den's point about Magneto and Alita is really good.
Exactly.
So that to me suggests that that's going to be a tough fight. I mean, I think the fact that he can do magnetic fields like that, and he is powerful, I think that, I think she'd be up against it for sure. I don't mean to insinuate it would be easy. It definitely would not be,
And for those in chat, as well as those that might be watching this later on a replay, it's what makes these debates sort of fun because, you get to sort of theorize and explore and, and obviously it's of your favorite characters.
Yep.
And sure, for most of us, Alita is our number one favorite, but that doesn't mean that we have number 2, 3, 4, and 20 favorites. So.
Well, the Creek admits he's biased toward his niece, so
Of course.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier regarding what Stan Lee said, Creek's playing the stream, so
I also really like to play devil's advocate and think of arguments for the opposing side just because of the fact that it makes it way more fun. I'm doing with these polls. I'm not doing anything where the answer is fucking obvious. I want to make it hard and I want to make y'all motherfuckers think. Okay? Make y'all think and debate about it. You know what I mean? Because if we already know the answer, there's no point in asking the question.
I will say this much.
I guess.
I won't say what was said, but the general consensus is that some of them have even gone as far as saying, bugger this poll because it's too hard for them or something like that.
Bull. I think those polls are. I think polls are fun like that. I mean,
Exactly. If it's one-sided, it eventually will be because, it will come a point where manga Alita comes up against almost anyone. And
By the way, Dan, I'm looking forward to the waifu poll. The waifu stream. That's going to be fun, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tier list based on the poll. So just because someone loses a poll doesn't mean they're knocked out of the tier list. But I'm using the polls. I'm using the polls to rank characters.
Yeah. So I just want to see the wife.
It's going to be like the Electoral College. Just because you got more votes don't mean you're the president, okay? The polls are just there to help things along.
Well, now whoever gets the most Electoral College votes is the president.
I'm talking about popular vote versus Electoral College.
Popular vote. Yeah, you're right.
Just because you got more votes don't mean that you're the president. You still got to win that Electoral College. So, like I said, it's going to be a tier list. There's going to be characters on the same tier. There's going to be an A tier, and there's going to be multiple characters in A tier. I think I'm going to order those tiers though. So if you're more to the left of A tier, then you're on the higher side. Versus if you're more on the right side of A tier, you're on the lower side.
Well, Dan, wait a minute. I just want to see the waifus. That's what.
I have so many lined up. It's crazy. I'm trying to not do too many polls a day because I tag people in them, and I don't want to blow up people's notifications. And I also try to tag different people in each poll, so you're not all day getting notified about the fucking poll. You know what I mean? But if I tag a few people, I'll keep you and Creek tag for most of them, just because there was a couple I didn't tag you and Creek in, just because I wanted to give y'all notifications a break. But I know that if I just tag just a couple people in it, then most of y'all see the polls. You know what I mean? So
cool.
But so I'm trying to only do 3 or 4 a day. I take breaks every other day. That's why I didn't do any the other day, just because I don't want to blow up notifications. But we'll slowly get through all the waifus I have lined up, and then we'll do the ultimate stream, which will be the definitive waifu tier list. Okay, all those other waifu tier lists you see on YouTube and shit mean nothing. They will pale in comparison. We have all of them based on scientific data. Okay.
As long as I get to see them, that's all.
What I find is awesome about this is before we move on to the next slide, is that it's also introduced me to a few characters and IPs as well that I've never heard of or like know very little of as well. Like for example, I've heard of Death Note. I've heard of Attack on Titans, for example. I don't know if you plan on putting Mikasa in there, but
yes, the Titan people will be in there. My wife loves that show.
Nice.
And I've only seen season 1, I think. But yeah, it's like I said, it's introducing me to a whole bigger, brighter world sort of thing overall.
Cool.
I love it.
You're just here for the titties. Don't lie.
Well, I'm here for the boobas.
I want to see the waifus. I'm going to move the next slide, guys. Let's bring it back to Alita. So, okay, the Space Angels versus the X-Force. Now, I tell you what, the Creek thinks there ain't no way the X-Force is going to beat the Space Angels. I even think Deadpool, if he fights Alita in her Imaginos 2.1 body, he's not going to last long, And I certainly think Zex is going to beat Cable. Now Cable's pretty tough, there's no doubt about it. But he's not superhero tough. Well, he is pretty close, though. And I think Zazzy's going to beat Domino easy. I think that fight won't even last 10 seconds, So anyway, that's my opinion on that one. So what do y'all think about this one?
All I got to say is, who?
You've seen Deadpool, haven't you?
Like once, really hungover, and I didn't even want to go.
Well, Deadpool's pretty badass. There's no doubt about it. But he's not going to be able to compete with someone that can move near the speed of light. There's no way that's going to happen.
He'll be too busy making jokes and eating chimichangas to actually fight.
That's exactly right. And of course, Zex. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. He's got a lot of. He's a paramilitary guy from the future and all that. But he's not as far in the future as Zex is. And I think Zex being a cyborg and being in that Visceroid body, I think that one's going to be over pretty fast. Too. And I would say the same thing about Zazie and Domino. Domino, I mean, her superpower is she's lucky. Well, when she fights Zazie, her luck's going to run out pretty fast, I think. So, yeah. Any thoughts about this one, guys?
I think Space Angels win. I mean,
oh yeah.
Deadpool's biggest power, as far as I know, because I don't know too much about Deadpool, but I know his biggest power is breaking the fourth wall, which I guess is pretty overpowered, and regeneration.
Yeah.
But we've seen fights like this where characters can regenerate infinitely. If you've ever watched Dragon Ball, you know who Majin Buu is, and that doesn't always save you from being completely fucking obliterated. So Deadpool can be killed. He's not immortal. I don't know. I just think that we've seen Alita do some things that will probably kill. It probably wouldn't be easy. I don't know how fast he is or how strong he is. You know what I mean? I just know he can break the fourth wall and eats fucking burritos all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really a great power. It's fucking slows you down. You get gas.
He's fairly fast, but I would say he's maybe a fast human. But I mean, he can't run. I mean, he wouldn't even be able to compete with her in a berserker body. I don't think. I think he'd be up against it big time. Now, he's a good sword fighter. He's fast at deflecting bullets. I mean, there's scenes where he uses those swords to deflect bullets. And there's a scene where Cable at first starts fighting him and is shooting at him, and he's deflecting most of the bullets, but he didn't deflect them all. A couple of them hit him, and of course he heals from it. And he said, "Damn, those bullets are fast." So I mean, he can definitely be beaten. Now, how he would do against, say, I don't think he could even beat Zex. He might be able to beat Zazie. I maybe, but I think that's the only one he would have a chance to beat. I think Zazie would beat certainly I think she's going to beat Domino, but I think she'd also beat Cable. I think she would. And I think Alita would take all three of them, and could probably do it by herself, so. Yeah, I think you may be right about that, Just a Fan. Deadpool is kind of like Captain America, but he's not as strong as Captain America. Captain America held that helicopter from taking off. I don't think Deadpool's that strong. Now, he's a damn good fighter. I mean, he's every bit as good a fighter as Captain America, I think, But no, he's not as strong as Captain America. So we all agree, I guess, the Space Angel's going to win this one pretty easy, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. What do you think, Angelus? Angelus is muted.
Oh, whoops.
Muted again, are we, Angelus?
Oh, yeah. I always mute so random.
Yeah.
The background noise doesn't filter through.
Yeah.
When we're live. But yeah, there'd be some cool interactions. Some wow, that just happened in a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, they win. Pretty.
Yeah, I think Deadpool could tell some good jokes. That's going to be about the way it goes, though, I think.
Deadpool just keep on getting back up 100% of the time, and Alita's just going to keep knocking him back down 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be something funny in of itself. But
yeah. Okay, well, that one was pretty easy for us to surmise there. So anyway, this is kind of what the Creek came up with. We had a little bit of disagreement on X-Men, I guess. I think most of us think the X-Men would lose to Space Angels, except Den. Den thinks the Space Angels would, the X-Men would win. So anyway, cool. So anyway, but the consensus is, I think, is the Space Angels would win 3 out of 4 of these matches. Okay. And if you look at how each individual, Space Angel did, now assuming, a number 3 fights a number 3, if they win, then that person gets 3 points. If you beat a number 2, you get 2 points. And if you beat a number 1, you get 1 point. So you could see there that, just going by, if that is the results, Alita, because she's fighting the stronger opponents, would get more points than, say, Zex, because he's fighting a little bit weaker opponents and Zazie is fighting the weaker opponents. So she wouldn't get as many points, for that one. Now, if they were in a league, this is the way it would shape up. And that would be if the Avengers defeated the X-Men. If the X-Men beat the Avengers, then it would end up like that. The only way the Space Angels, I think, would win this league would be is if the X-Men and the Avengers both defeated the Justice League, which I don't think that's going to happen. But that's a scenario that could happen. I mean, Thor could beat Superman. He is pretty strong, and he's got Mjolnir. He could do it, but I think Superman's going to win 8 out of 10 of those fights, personally, Any thoughts about any one of these 3 scenarios, you guys? This one, or this one?
Sorry, I'm just reading through the
Yeah, because on this one right here, I think the Justice League beats all 4 of them. And even if they substituted Batman with Aquaman, they'd still win all 4 of them, I think.
I don't understand Aquaman. Doesn't he only have powers to talk to fish? Aren't his powers only in water?
Well, no,
if his powers aren't only in water, then what is the point of being Aquaman? What's the point?
Well, he does have superhuman strength. There was a point there in that movie Aquaman where he actually lifted an entire submarine to the surface. I mean, you know, think
So
about
why didn't
how
they just
much.
call him Strongman?
Who knows?
Because I mean, I just don't see what the point of being Aquaman is. You see what I'm saying?
Waterman, right?
Well, wouldn't it be just use buoyancy to float the thing, like between that and his strength, to bring the submarine back up to sea level?
Well, maybe, but even in the water, you know, that submarine's going to be it's going to be pretty goddamn heavy. You know, I mean, even in underwater, it's still going to be pretty hard to push that thing up, you know. I mean, Aquaman is a metahuman, you know, it definitely is that. So anyway, this is the way that I think the Creek thinks it would turn out eventually. But yeah, you could make the case. Well, you could even make the case that, like Dan was saying, that the X-Men beats the Space Angels. In that case, you'd have the Space Angels, you know, and the Avengers and the X-Men all tied for second place, and the Justice League ahead of all of them. Okay, you know, I can see that happening. The only way I see the Space Angels being the best of all these teams would be if the X-Men and the Avengers both defeated the Justice League, which I don't think is going to happen. What do y'all think? Or if we wore this topic out?
Hey, my headset's muted. Fuck. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Justice League has the initial advantage over all teams, but you know.
Yeah. Well, their characters are overpowered. I mean, for sure. You know, you got basically an alien that's close to a god. Then you got an actual goddess. And you got a guy that's crazy smart with technology and a super good tactician and fighter. I mean, holy crap. And if he's prepared, he can beat anybody. So, you know, that's pretty tough to overcome that, you know, I think. Yes, Charlie, in the Uwu battle, that'd be a no-brainer. Space Angels would be 4-0. Absolutely. By the way, Dan, in your waifu stream, you do have Alita in there, right?
Hold on, I'm lifting. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, she was in the first, like one of the first polls.
Oh, okay. I don't remember voting on that. I may have. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I made it hard on y'all.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I think we all agree that the Justice League is going to be the best team. I think Space Angels are going to be second. I think the Avengers and the X-Men are going to be a very close third. If not, they may win. They may beat the Space Angels. That's possible. I think the one thing I think we agree on two things. I think we both agree, all of us agree Justice League is the best. I think we all agree that the X-Force is going to be on the bottom. Is that not true?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Especially about the X-Force.
Wow, the anime, I didn't know that, Ash, that Aquaman gets weaker if he's out of water. That's wild. I didn't know that. Because that's not the way it is in the movie.
Okay, I had to come back. So that's what I'm saying. What is the fucking point of Aquaman? Like when they announced it for the movies, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, this is pointless. Are we going to spend half of the movie in the water? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Actually, they do.
in whatchamacallit, in the Snyder Cut movie or whatever?
Oh, no, not the Snyder Cut movie. I'm talking about
That's
the
what I'm saying.
Aquaman
He can't
movie,
do shit up here. Like, he's a fish. You see what I'm saying? The fish out of water is a colloquialism for a reason.
Well, wait a minute, though. He's half human. I mean, you know, his father was a human, you know, and his mother is you know, an Atlantean, you know. So
my cousin is half Asian, and that doesn't mean she can go to the Philippines and talk to people. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, fucking Aquaman doesn't make any sense. Like, why'd they choose him for the? Listen, Snyder Cut's a great movie. I'm just talking shit. I'm just saying, I just never understood the choice of putting Aquaman in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Charlie has a good point. He can't talk to fish. That's your point, then.
Cool. He can get us some fucking sushi for lunch. You know what I mean? Like, what else can he do?
Well, he does have superhuman strength. He has that. So, and he is a pretty good fighter. So he's pretty durable. He got in that Aquaman movie, he got shot with a really powerful gun, and it knocked him out for about maybe 5 seconds, and he got right up, I mean, it didn't really injure him, so, but yeah, you're right.
I'm just thinking like they could have had Martian Manhunter, who's a really fucking cool. Dope character.
That would have been cool. Yeah, it would have. Yeah, we didn't see much of Martian Manhunter in Justice League. He
was in the Snyder cut, but like for a second, just to like make people like me shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was only in like 2 scenes, I think, is all he was in. In that scene where he goes visit Superman's mother, that was the Martian Manhunter. Because he's a shapeshifter, And then he goes and visits Bruce Wayne. That's the only 2 times we see him. I mean, that's a shame, I think. I think if they ever do a sequel to Justice League, which I've heard that's not likely, but if they do, I'd want to see Martian Manhunter in that thing. Charlie's got a good point. What about Green Lantern? Yeah. Green Lantern would be pretty badass, in a competition like this. He definitely would. Yeah, Aquaman is Thor underwater. Yeah, okay.
And that's the sad part because we don't live underwater. So, you know what I mean? The Aquaman movie was fine. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I love the director who did it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, for Justice League, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I have my thoughts about Aquaman too. I kind of like the character, but yeah, you're right. It's like he's in water. He has to be in the water. Yeah, I mean he has telepathy with fish. That's great. So.
Like Dan 10, he can order sushi for lunch.
Yeah, cool.
In fact, that's exactly what I might do. But anyway.
Now that he's brought it up, huh? Okay, guys, did we miss anything? I think we determined the Space Angels, most of us think they would be, if not tied for second, in second, behind the Justice League, and that Alita has the highest uwu factor. So,
amen.
Okay, any last thoughts there, Den? Or are you still lifting weights?
I'm hungry. That's my last thought right there.
Yeah, I got to get something to eat myself. By the way, Dan, I got a bar. I got a regular powerlifting bar. So.
You mean like an Olympic style bar?
Well, no, it's just the 7-foot, 45-pound bar.
Yeah, that's the Olympic bar right there.
Yeah. So
how much did it cost?
Oh gosh, it was like I don't remember. Shit, I don't keep up. My brother does that to me almost every time.
I'm too fucking rich, guys. Shit. Listen, I don't look at the tag. I just throw it in the cart and tell my butler to handle it. So
and I'm not a spook.
But I definitely want to get another bar because it's really annoying when you're squatting, but then you're gonna go to deadlifts and you got to take all the fucking weights off and bring it from the squat rack all the way out. It's kind of, but yeah, no, that's awesome, man. You got to build a gym like mine. We'll be in competition.
Oh yeah. And I also got a couple of plates too, so I can do some heavy lifting here. Not real heavy.
Me and Dizzy are in competition right now for who can get the best gym going. So you got to.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen your gym. I think I got a ways to go to beat your gym. So, because you got a heavy bag hanging up in your gym, don't you?
Oh yeah, I got a lot of boxing shit in here. I got a heavy bag. I've got a double end bag. I got a speed bag, and I've got a maze bag. So
I don't have any of that shit. I just got powerlifting stuff here. So
I've got a giant ass tire, sledgehammers, 2 different box jumps, everything that's just like super functional. I've only got one pair of dumbbells, so you know what I mean.
Do you have those adjustable dumbbells?
I do actually. Yeah, so that's 2 pairs of dumbbells. Yeah, I got those and a bunch of, but I don't really use them for much as of right now. But I should start using them because I'm thinking maybe because my shoulder thing going on.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of imbalance in there. Maybe pec flies will help. I just know I should stay the fuck away from the bench.
You probably got not frozen shoulder, but you probably got an impinged shoulder. Probably.
I'm hoping it's not something I need surgery for. I know how I hurt it too.
I don't think so. I don't think you need surgery. I think do you do hangs?
No, but
you should do hangs. I don't mean pull-ups either. I mean pull-ups are good, but hangs, you just hang. You just hang like a pull-up bar. And let it stretch. Let it pull on your shoulders. I mean it helped me. And here's another thing you can do: get you a lacrosse ball. And then kind of just, get you like a pad or something to lay on the ground, and then take that lacrosse ball and put it under your scapula and just kind of, massage that. It's going to hurt like shit the first few times you do it. But I tell you right now, I had problems with my shoulders here about 4 or 5 years ago with my right shoulder, then my left, and then went back to my right. And since I've been doing those hangs and doing, the lacrosse ball and making sure you do as many pulls as you do pushes.
Yeah.
That I think that'll help your shoulder a lot because I know it helped mine. So anyway,
definitely trying to increase the amount of pulls I've been doing. That's actually all I've done in the last couple of weeks. And what you're saying about the lacrosse ball, I got a foam rolling ball, and I've got to do that more. I've done it a couple times, but I got to do what you just said more often.
Yeah. Well, even if you had a tennis ball, would work pretty good. The reason why I like lacrosse ball is real hard, and you can really massage the crap out of that scapula, So
or I just need a nice Thai or Filipino woman to
all this talk about pulling and squatting.
Yeah. I like to see women squat.
Yeah, what you need, Dan, is you have your wife give you a massage, man.
She's Spanish, so it would be a mean massage. Need those tiny little Asian hands, you know what I mean? They can get to places. By the way, new polls up.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll go take a look at it then. Did you tag Angelus and I on this one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll go vote on it then. Okay, guys. I guess we hit that one as hard as we can hit it. We didn't seem to miss anything. We had a little bit of a debate about the Space Angels and the X-Men. That's cool. I love those debates. And of course, this is our queen right here, our Rosa. And I tell you what, I watched that video of her working out. I watched that thing again here. I think it was yesterday. And then I watched the interview with her about how she talked about working out. Dan, I thought of you immediately because she said, until you get hit in the face, you don't really know how to fight. And I said, oh, God, Dan probably loves that. So she was saying how she got kicked and hit, and stuff like that while she was training, for Alita, So that was pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because she took it serious, didn't she?
Yeah,
yeah.
I wish you can become the second one, and it still take forever.
Well, hopefully she does get to do a second one.
Or the third one and the third one too. And if you don't want the third one,
yeah,
I don't have to. I haven't seen the anime version. I want the anime version.
Well, the anime version's okay.
It's still missing the scenes, and you don't copy the light vision.
Yeah, it's not as good as the movie, say, or
it's okay. I had the DVD version. I don't have that.
Yeah, I've only seen the anime version once, but it was okay.
I see it once and two.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, tomorrow, Angelus, are you going to be the host on this, or is that Maxie?
I'll be hosting.
Okay, well, anyway, that's.
I'll be here tomorrow. No, I was doing intense.
Oh yeah, go on the Alita Army, web page or on the YouTube page, and it's episode 101 is right there, and you just get into it. That stream is a little more organized than my streams or mine.
I'll also play this game too right now. I'll play right now. This game by Angel.
Yeah.
The Japanese version. Yeah.
Okay, well, to wrap things up, I guess, of course, we all know why is this image here, because the Creek likes it and he's running the stream. So that's why that image is there. And to paraphrase Gawishka, I'm only here for our girl and the Elite Army.
Is that how you say Grisha? Say why Grisha?
Yeah, Gawishka. Yeah, that's right.
Grisha versus Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
Like Silent Park, I play this game. My favorite game all the time.
Okay.
That's my opinion. And that's kind of cool. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, guys. One time go around. Angelus, any last thoughts?
No.
The angel can fly.
Stefani Sung, you got any last thoughts?
I'm good. Maybe next time.
Okay. Dan, how about you? Any last thoughts?
What do you think about tomorrow? I don't know. I was busy playing my Xbox now.
Yeah, it'll be about it's tomorrow about 22 hours after this stream is what it is, I think.
Yeah.
So,
What's your time over there?
Well, my time here is 6:15, so it'll be
mine's 5 o'clock something, 5:16 Pacific time.
Oh, you're on Pacific? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm from California.
It'll be it'll be 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
Stefani.
Yeah.
Stefani. Yeah.
And you say my name right? You say my right? Reverse.
Stefani Sung. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my.
Dan, I hate you.
Yeah, Dan's out of pocket.
Yeah. Dan,
No,
any last? Go ahead, Stefani.
Oh, I just continue talking.
Okay. Any last thoughts, Dan?
Fucking dying, mate. Keep going.
Okay, I think he's lifting. So anyway, all right, guys. Then on my count of 3, let's do the call to action, and that will be the call to action, of course, is film those sequels, baby. So on my count, 1, 2, 3. Film those sequels, baby. And we'll see you next. Well, actually, one more announcement. We will not be having a stream next Friday. The Creek has to go out of town on a business trip. So be 2 weeks from today, the next Alita live stream. Now, I will say that the Radio Chaos stream tomorrow, tune into that one. It'll be a lot of fun. So we will see you all then.
And you take yourself, Creek.
All right. Thanks. You too, Stefani.
Yeah, because I was there from start in the game. I'm poor city.
Cool.
A lot of games. People. There's a lot of crying people in China.
Yeah.
I'm Asian too, guys.
Okay, well that's cool.
Yeah, because I'm Cambodia.
Okay.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Yeah, welcome to the Alita Army.
And thanks. I just followed you on Twitter. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you followed me back because I need more followers. I don't, because I was busy and do something with my Xbox.
You'll get some. You'll get some.
No, that's okay. No, just following back one person. I just say you're done. That's one time.
Okay.
Enough for it. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all 2 weeks from today and tomorrow on Radio Chaos.
Yeah.